Hey there, Careblazers. Welcome back to the place where we talk about everything dementia. Dr. Natalie here, and I have recently been getting some emails from Careblazers asking me how they can get their loved one to be more open to receiving help from others, or emails from Careblazers saying there's people willing to help them out and their loved ones with dementia are okay with other people helping them out, but themselves as the Careblazer just can't bring themselves to let go of a little bit of that control and leave their loved one with dementia alone with somebody else. So today's video is part one of a two-part series, and today's is going to be focusing on how to get your loved one with dementia more open and agreeable to receiving help from others. If you are new to Careblazers TV, welcome. We'd love to have you join the family. All you have to do is hit that little red subscribe button on your screen. I think this goes without saying, but I have to say it anyway because it's just that important. If you want to provide the best care for your loved one with dementia, then you have to provide the best care for yourself. It is important to be open to receiving help from others, whether it's a neighbor, a friend, a volunteer agency, a community agency, or whatever other way you can receive care. It's important for us to be open to that. But what to do if your loved one with dementia isn't quite agreeable to receiving help for others, or you're worried that your loved one might not be agreeable to receiving help from others. I've personally worked with Careblazers whose loved one has not been open to care in the past, but by using some of these techniques and getting the other care person on board, their loved one with dementia was able to eventually get to the point where they were able to get help from others, be open to receiving help from others, and it really freed up a lot of time and relieved a lot of stress for the Careblazer. Tip number one is to keep an open mind. Just because your loved one rejected help in the past, it isn't necessarily proof that your loved one will reject it again in the future. Dementia is constantly changing, progressing, and there are so many factors that may have played into their previous rejection. Tip number two is to call it something else. You don't necessarily need to tell your loved one that you have somebody coming into the home to help them with things. Because many people with dementia don't know, or they don't believe they have dementia, or they don't believe that they need help, it's not surprising that many of them aren't jumping at the chance to have extra help. After all, in their minds, they're doing just fine. So instead of calling it help, consider calling it a friend, a visitor, a chef, a maid, anything except for somebody coming into the house to help them with things that they can't do themselves. Tip number three, start with the easy stuff first. Imagine yourself in your loved one's shoes. All of a sudden, a stranger or someone they don't know all that well comes into the home and tries to help with things like bathing, dressing, toileting. That would be extremely hard. Try starting with the not so private and difficult stuff first. Giving them food, combing their hair, shaving their beard, clipping their nails, doing laundry, and other things that aren't so intimate. Tip number four is to gradually warm them up and work them in. If you have a friend, family member, or neighbor offering help, let your loved one warm up to them. Instead of that person immediately starting to do personal care tasks, have them sit with your loved one, watch TV with your loved one, play games with your loved one, take them outside. This would still be some time for you to do the things that you may need to go do for yourself, like take a nap or go to the store, have coffee with a friend. And it starts building relationships with your loved one and your new helper to make them more willing to accept help from that person once they want to do some more demanding care tasks. Tip number five, and this is huge. I have personally witnessed with my own eyes how big of a difference this can make. It is all about the approach. Some of the best dementia helpers I have known are the ones who come into the home, smile, say how nice it is to see them again, and get straight to doing whatever it is that they are going to do. There's no big fuss, no big deal, no hesitation or awkward discomfort. Your loved one with dementia will pick up on discomfort, will pick up on tension and a person's discomfort with being in that situation. So the more relaxed, confident, friendly, and comfortable your dementia helper is in going into the home, the more relaxed and open your loved one with dementia will be to receiving that help. So spend some time talking to the dementia helper. If it's somebody who's not used to being with somebody with dementia, give them some tips. Make sure that they know to act like they belong there, like they've been there for a long time, and even discuss with them some brief communication tips that they can use when interacting with the person with dementia. I'll make sure to link to my 5 tips for talking to a loved one with dementia, and you can even review that yourself and go over it with the dementia helper that's coming in, or have the dementia helper look over it themselves. Tip number 6 is to set your dementia helper up for success. It's okay to let the person who's coming in to help know about things to avoid saying, talking about, or doing. If you know your loved one with dementia doesn't like to watch the news on TV, then be sure to let that person who's coming in to help know that so they can avoid a potential upsetting situation. If your loved one hates iced tea, but you love it, so there's always iced tea in the fridge, make sure that the caregiver coming into the home knows that and doesn't try to give it to your loved one with dementia. Careblazers, I hope that this video has been helpful to you. Let me know what you think by leaving a comment below, and be sure to stay tuned for next week's video where I talk about ways to help you, the Careblazer, feel more comfortable and willing to let your loved one with dementia receive care from somebody else. In the meantime, go ahead and catch me over on my Facebook Dementia Careblazers page. I'd love to see you there. Bye.